In this segment, I will introduce you to the history of intellectual property rights. It's a very long story. In the year 1331, King Edward III of England created history by providing king's protection through a letters patent. It was given to a Flemish weaver of woolen clothes by name John Kemp. Kemp was allowed by the monarch to exploit his invention and conduct trade on woolen clothes made from his craft in England, besides enjoying the right to teach his weaving technique to people he chose to. Thus, the protection afforded Kemp exclusive rights to work and disseminate his knowledge and skills. In many ways, this case lies at the root of the present-day patents. Unlike inventions, creative works of writers and artists were not comprehensively protected until about the 15th century, when the then Republic of Venice granted privileges to print books. The earliest legislation in England was the Copyright Act of 1709, known as the Statute of Anne. The reason for copyrights to take time to evolve as legislations was the difficulty of controlling works in the pre-printing technology era. In the distant past, before printing technology came into existence, a written work could be physically reproduced only by copying it manually. There was no mechanism whatsoever, legal or otherwise, to properly control or monitor the scribes who took down the manuscripts. Hence, authors were paid only for the access to the first copy. They could not retain any exclusive rights on the work in its multiplied forms. Today, thanks to the evolution of copyrights and the printing technology, authors retain copyrights both over their initial creations and its copies. Let me come to trademarks that underlie brands. This seems to be a very modern concept, but trademarks have been in use since the 13th century. The beginning of trademarks can be traced to the reign of King Henry III in England. In those days, bakers of England used a distinctive mark of their own to distinguish their products. Now let me move over to the historical significance of intellectual property rights in the international arena.